we need to look at how suitable these different cables are for different applications. And there's a little checklist we need to take into account when we're making those decisions. The first is the cost of the cable, and also how much it's going to cost us to connect that cable. The second is the bandwidth, which is basically what bandwidth is achievable. So bandwidth basically governs how much data can go through a cable. The next factor is really an indicator of poor performance, and it's interference. And interference, basically what that means is how likely is it that there's going to be interference when data signals are traveling along the line. So that would be like lag, for example. That would be interference. Some cables can handle that better than others. Another is this, where you can see this deteriorated building. Now the fancy word we're going to be using is something called attenuation at high frequency. Now what that means is how lightly and how much is the cable going to deteriorate when we're using high frequencies. Is it going to keep to be is it going to be amazing speed over time, or is it going to deteriorate over time? And finally, the final factor is, do we actually need repeaters attached to the transmission lines? Now this probably means nothing to you, which is fine, we'll explain it in a minute. But what you need to be able to know is that there are 5 factors we need to take into account when we're choosing a network cable, or a transmission cable shall I say. Cost, bandwidth, how much interference it can take, how much it deteriorates, or at the fancy word attenuation at high frequency, and finally, do we need any repeaters? Let's have a look at that in a little bit more detail.